Great to see you on the program. And you've got a really interesting survey to share. And it has to do with what's happening in the LGBTQ plus community when it comes to job loss. Now, unfortunately, minorities overall do experience higher levels of job loss. Same trend for LGBTQ plus. Why? What did the survey find?
The survey is really focused on trying to understand the experiences of the LGBTQ population at the beginning of the pandemic. So we gathered data from all across the United States between May and July of 2020. So it's right at the heart of things. And, we found a lot of things about how people were affected. But one of the main things we found was that about a quarter of the individuals who had jobs, of the 1,000 individuals we surveyed who had jobs, had lost their jobs during that very early period of the pandemic. And this it manifested very clearly in people who were less well-educated, in communities of color. And so that individuals who happened to be LGBTQ and also had less educational attainment and also were from communities of color were at much greater risk at losing their jobs. So it pointed out the stress that people who hold multiple identities that are minority in nature experience in a pandemic like COVID-19.
And unfortunately, for stress like that, there's often not enough support. So how difficult is the experience for some people that have gone through this?
For LGBTQ people, we tend to think, like in New York and New Jersey, we happen to be fortunate, right? We live in two states that have very enlightened political systems where the rights of LGBTQ people are, protected, where Governor Murphy just signed marriage equality as law of the state, right? But there's Arkansas and Mississippi and Montana. And in those states, LGBTQ people experience extremely high rates of stress, either because of job loss or because of discrimination, just in their lives, or because of inability to actually find competent, caring healthcare.
When you look at the data, what conclusion should we draw from this? What action plan, I guess, if you will, should be developed?
Well, I think one of the things that comes out very clearly for me is that the ultimate need to ensure protections under the law so that people are not fired from their jobs because of their sexual orientation and gender identity. So we have them in New York and New Jersey, and New Jersey has a really robust sort of infrastructure that way. But it's so easy in a pandemic to make an excuse of firing somebody because there's not enough work to be had, and firing the gay person or the lesbian person or the trans person. So I think that's one of the lessons here. I think the other lesson here is, let's not assume that everybody in the population of LGBTQ is the same. This is not one group of people, and so the very same people who experience privilege in our society, namely white men who have access to money, are not going to fare as badly as individuals who have less education, less money, and are people of color. That's the takeaway message. And it indicates to me that we have to tailor our efforts to address the particular needs in this very diverse group of people.
Great talking to you about the study.
Thank you, Rhonda. I appreciate the opportunity.
Thanks for watching. For more clips and episodes of NJ Business Beat, subscribe to the NJ Spotlight News YouTube channel.